All right, chat. We're gonna be making a jungle tier list based on how hard you can carry with this god to masters. So here we go. We have a lot of gods to go through, and it's gonna be a fun time. If I forget any characters, make sure to remind me. I think there's a couple missing here. So Achilles is probably like an A tier carry. You know, I'm gonna give one reason for each character. What up, Forgiven? Thanks for the 38 months. Nice to see you, brother. Agni, I'm not gonna put the junglers that can't really jungle, right? Because you're not gonna carry with those characters, especially in ranked. And now that we do have a 10.6 patch, have you guys read? If you guys haven't seen on my YouTube or anybody else's YouTube, 10.8. I mean, 10.6 is a tank meta, but there is still good hyper carries in the jungle. So I'm gonna be showing you guys who those characters are. So as we continue, Amma we can put in. She can't carry. On her jungle is actually pretty good if you're really good with him to carry. Hunters are pretty good late game. Ao Quang is the top tier. He is, I think, one of the GOATs right now to carry yourself out of low MMRs. Apollo jungle is still a thing. I did drop that video recently. He is still good. If you're good with Apollo and you know how to space out and you know how to use Transcendence and be global, I think Arachne is actually pretty like not as good as she's been in other seasons, just because the tank meta, like the kin size, you can go in on one person, but you actually can't kill that many people like AO can, right? We continue. Athena could be jungle, but like just to show you guys where she's at, like to carry a game, she cannot carry a game. Whereas before, when she was scaling pretty well with her 2 and her 3, she could do a lot with Boomba's hammer, but that is no longer a thing. Willix is in the S tier of carrying games. I mean, as you guys know, she is very fast and all over the map. She has a low CD on her ult. She can build Blood Force. She can kill multiple people if you have some setup. And that's why she's not in the SS, because she's not like, she needs, you know, the Bacchus or she needs them to have a lot of jumps. So there's a big if factor on a Willix, but she can still do work regardless of no leaps and knockups. So still leave her in that S tier. Bakasura is in the SS. The character is absolutely brain dead, and all you gotta do is eat minions, split push, and then kill people that try to defend the split push with your ult. So that's why he's up here. Bastet, unironically, in the SS. She was buffed last patch. I'm sure you guys have seen me get insane multi-kills with Bastet on my shorts or on my YouTube or anywhere. She is very good right now. Bellona just cannot carry. She's like C. She can't carry, but I'm going to give her an extra letter. I think Hamma is up there in the carry. I'm not sure if he's SS. I don't feel like he's SS. I feel like he's S. I think it's better for him. It depends on the matchups, and he needs specific timings to kill multiple people. So for that reason, he will be in the S and not SS. But, you know, the Soul Eater build, I don't know if you guys seen on my YouTube. I have dropped a couple Camisauts videos. Let's continue. Chalk. I'll put Krabraken just so you guys can get a feel for where I think he's at. I think he's at like a C or B. Definitely better than Bellona. Chang'e jungle. I think it's at the same tier. Pretty bad. Like can't carry, but can kill one person. Cherno jungle I think is pretty good right now. I'm sure you guys see me do it to people all the time with him. I think Cleo is like S, but not S plus, because I mean SS, because she's not top of the. She can't carry early, right? Like she's pretty slow build up, but once she gets to 6 slots or 5 slots, playing around those FG and Pyro walls, she can take out 2 to 3 people easily, very easily. So she's definitely an S jungler. Kukulkan jungle is about a B or an A. Like he can kill like maybe 2 people maximum, but after that you need some help. So definitely not in the S or S. In the A, I think is pretty fair. We're gonna keep rolling through this list. Kronos is actually pretty good to carry in the jungle. Can group camps well, clear fast, get 6 slots, and then does he scale? Yes, he scales very well. Daji, I would say she's like about the A tier. She doesn't like 1v5 people, but she can kill 4 people if she has help. So like I said, this tier list is based off how, you know, carrying yourself out of these lower ranks, making sure you guys know what are the best junglers to do so in this patch. Erlang is definitely at bottom, like with Bellona probably. Just can't. I honestly prefer to have Balona than Erlang. That's how bad Erlang feels right now, I'd say. He has a good early game with Pin, and that's about it. Then he has another spike with Kins, and then he falls off a cliff. Fenrir, S tier. He's definitely up there. I think I'd put him SS, but since sometimes I like to build hybrid, I feel like he's a good hybrid build jungler. With Berserkers or any attack speed because of his stim and his lifesteal, with Serrated and Bloodforge and all these great items. But at the end of the game, he still has to kill 5 people. It is very hard with Fen sometimes just because he's kind of all in, right, with Brutalize. So, eventually since every game is getting to 35 minutes, around that time period, you can't kill that many people. Like, you Brutalize, you kill 1, you have to go lifesteal, then you come back, things like that in that nature. But he's definitely, top tier in terms of carrying yourself out of these lower ranks. E-set jungle is actually pretty good. If you have a good E-set, not everybody has a good E-set. Not everybody's a great E-set player. But if you do have a good E-set, I would say she is pretty decent in the jungle to carry yourself out. She has a lot of damage, objective secure, can farm pretty fast, group camps with Wingus. I mean, she's not bad, not at all. Gilga, I think, is about similar. I would say similar. He has good spikes, definitely way better spikes than Erlang. He just doesn't scale that hard. I would say he's B or A, but it feels weird to put him next to the Cabin Chunga. He's definitely A, I think. He has good early game. He has good ganks. He has good farm patterns. He just doesn't carry late. Like, he doesn't 1v5. He's just not that type of character. Trying to get yourself out of lower ranks. What junglers to use to get yourself out of lower ranks to climb to Masters and Grandmasters. Guan Yu, I'm putting in like the side characters just so you guys kind of get a feel for how good he is to carry. He's not really that good. He's okay. Like, there's some builds you can go. You can probably kill 1 to 2 or maybe take beads, but you're not like that guy. You're not going to kill multiple people. Which, I don't know, Pika, that you play Comp 2, and since I already have you in chat, you agree, like, in this meta, to kill 5 people, you need to be a very specific type of character. Including like Soul Eater, Executes, things of that nature, since everybody's so tanky and you just can't get through everybody without help, and in lower ranks, asking for help is something you might not get. So Hebo, definitely Hebo. Everybody knows Hebo. Pumping water cannons. He's definitely one of those 1v5 characters. You definitely want to have him in your arsenal if you want to get to those top ranks. Let's continue. Herc Jungle, I think is an A. He got nerfed a little bit, but he's still, with a hybrid build, can do a lot of work, between Jotuns, Arcs, Regrowth. There's a lot of items that slot in very well to Herc that gives you a good pace, and you can set up your team, but you just cannot kill 5 people. You can set up to kill a couple and maybe solo like a mage with, your 1 and your own auto cancels, but that's as far as Herc goes. All right, let's keep it rolling. I want to put in like a hybrid of characters so you guys can get a feel of where I think characters are. Horus can't do much. You're a setup character, so I'm going to leave him at C. Hunbots is more around the A. He can kill 2 people, maybe 3. I think he's more of the S. If you hit a 5-man ult, I think you can pick off 2 to 3 people, maybe even 4, depending on how the fight turns out. But I think Hunbots, I don't know, but then I have Dodgy under him. But I do feel like Bots has more kill threat than Dodgy when it comes to, because I think with Dodgy, you're pulling beads, and that's it. Hunbots does a bit more damage and can secure Blood Forges a little bit easier than, it's close. I hate his 2-minute CD, I agree. It is very long. But since every game's going to late game host, you know what I mean? Like, eventually, if I'm a Dodgy, right, late game, like, I kill maybe 1 and then I'm forced to ult, right? And then hope to maybe kill 2 on the drop if they have no actives. Bots, I feel like you can go in and out, and I don't know, they're pretty similar. So I actually bump up the Dodgy off putting the bots on S tier. It just depends how good of a bots you are, All right, let's keep it going. Kali, cream of the crop when it comes to killing 5 people. She is great at doing so. She is definitely an S tier hyper carry. So is Loki. I think Loki just needs his timings. These characters are timing related. Ao Kuang really isn't. He kind of kills at all times. But Loki, you know, once you get your Crusher, your Heartseeker, your upgraded, you know, Boomba Hammer, like, or whatever you want to go, Bluestone or whatever starter you want to go, he carries once he gets 6 slots, 5 slots. You're in and out of the fight. Another thing you always have to think about when you're talking about carrying these rank games is that you're going to have to push lanes to carry, right? So if you're not good at pushing lanes, taking 1v1s, and killing multiple people at FGs, you're not a good hyper carry. So that's where you kind of base it off. Janus jungle, I'm going to put this, but I don't recommend you guys do it. Like, he can't really gank unless you're like the GOAT Janus, and then on top of that, he does power farm well, but when it comes to the late game team fights, you miss your ult, you're not killing 5. Right, so you have to be hitting like 2 or 3 man ults to kill 5. But Janus is definitely doable in the jungle. I just don't recommend it. Like I said, if you're not the greatest Janus, I wouldn't do it. Mercury is still up there. I think he did fall off a little bit though. He's not that SS Mercury, you know, from before. Spec is just too strong, right? So once people get Spec, it's hard to kill 5. Especially if they group on whoever has Spec, usually the Guardian. So, but he's still S though. He can still push out waves. He can still do objectives. He can still he's still up there. I just think with how good Spec is, it's much harder to kill 5, unfortunately, because I do think that character is one of the best. I'll put Mulan in here for Spirit. She definitely can't carry you to rank games, but she'll do fine. She's not like the best, nor is she the worst. She has good damage. She does fall off a cliff though, unfortunately, if you build damage, and that's her problem because every game's going late game, right? So that's why she's nowhere near that top. Let's continue rolling through these bad boys, bro. I think Kuzembo's absolutely. This is a little extra. I think Kuzembo, if you get support and you don't know what you're doing, pick Kuzembo, go Thorns, go Blink, and Blink on their backline. You will win games. This is a side tip for Kuzen. I'll add that little extra. Even in solo. Let's keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. Naja can't carry. He, sorry, I know someone in chat's gonna say something, but he is like, he can set up. He's as good as your team is, really. I mean, you can kill 1 or 2 maybe if you're like if you're Crit or Bloodforge or Heartseeker, Naja, but it doesn't feel the greatest to build that path. And you're as good as your team is, right? Or like Humbas can kill more. You know, you can kill more easily. All right, let's keep it going. Nemesis, she's all right. Crit Nem can do it, but similar problem to Mercury. As she can't, you can't kill multiple people if you go crit, which is the only way to kill multiple people if they get Spec. And then on top of that, her ult is like one-dimensional, so she doesn't have too much space. But Golden Blade crit, doable to win games. Can you kill 5? Much harder than the characters at SS and S. So let's keep it rolling. Osiris, if you wanted him in the jungle, he's ass. Falls off a cliff. But definitely better than Erlang though. Yeah, Nem is just too one-dimensional. She's probably good in comp, like where if you throw Nem ult, like one, whatever, whether it's Storm or Cthulhu or like some sort of frontline, it's really hard to kill. In comp, I could see her working, but in ranked, it's just there's not enough coordination. Pele is still, I would say, S. You can dictate the early game. You don't scale as good as these guys, but you can still dictate the early game and still take out 1 to 2 people in the late game with your 1-2 ult combo. So definitely still top of the field. Poseidon jungle, I actually think is very good right now, just because of his farm rate and his late game strengths. But he's still not. I don't think it's S. Like his farming is amazing, but his 1v1 is not the greatest. Let's say, for example, you're fighting versus a Fenrir, you're just gonna die in side lane. Same goes for Kamazaz, same goes for Ao Kuang, same goes for Bastet, same goes for Hebo, Kali, Loki. You see what I mean? So like him pushing side lanes is a bit scary for him, so he doesn't really want to. So it's harder to carry. You can't just run away from them, but then eventually you're gonna have to fight them to win. You know what I mean? So at team fights, he is good. High power Poseidon with Kraken can change the fights, but killing 5 people not as realistic. Killing 2 or 3 more realistic. Let's keep it rolling. Ratatasker is actually pretty good right now. I would say he's S. He's not SS. He dictates the early game for sure. He doesn't fall off that hard because of his CC, but he's not a multi-killer like Ao Kuang and Hebo and Bastet are. Ravana, I think, is similar. I think he's better in solo. He's much better in solo. He has jungle potential. If you go hybrid, he definitely scales. If you go full damage, I think his damage falls off a bit. But he's still pretty damn good right now. Serket, where she was actually S tier about a while ago, I think she's more around the S/A tier. She can't kill multiple people. You can go full crit, but even if you do go full crit, you could still probably kill 2 people. But that 3rd, 4th, 5th, there's not really space for Bloodforge on her build. And her in it, like, you know, her CDs are a bit long if you don't have full CD, and if you're going crit, you're not gonna have full CD. So, but she's still very good. You know, she's just as good as you are, right? Because if you're getting double kisses into double ones with crit, I mean, I think it's very possible to kill 2, 3. But if you're not hitting that consistently, you know, she's more of, you know, singling one person out, killing them, and then trying to join the fight after. Let's keep it rolling. Set will always be Set. SS can kill multiple people. He's, you know, his kit is designed to do so. You know, he's designed to roll over a fight. He power farms, and he has good 1v1, and he can split push. So he checks off all the check marks. Susano as well in the SS. I mean, brain dead ults, insane damage. You can build them however, in and out, hard to kill, escapes, infinite damage, and, you know, Bloodforge builder. I mean, just in general, just checks off all the boxes as a set. I'll add Shiva in here just for a little. I know some people might ask me, so I think Shiva's like a B. He falls off a cliff when it comes to his ult, right? But his early mid game is pretty nice, and it dictates good pace, similar like Mulan. But he falls off a cliff, unfortunately. So you have to go hybrid on him to scale, and you don't even scale that hard with it. Wukong jungle, I actually played it recently. It's whatever. You prefer to be tanked to interrupt with Oxform and be very annoying. If you go full damage, it's okay. The scaling is not good enough, but he can do it. Soul Eater, Trans, Crusher, Heartseeker, not the worst of builds. Odin's ass. Odin is as good as his cages. You get double shell, he's not even a character. Let's keep it rolling. Thor, I think, is still really high up. I think he's SS. Dictate the pace. Late game, dictate the pace. Early game, scales, split push, global. I mean, he's so good. But like I said, he's as good as you are. I think he's more of like the S here. But if you're really good with him, he's SS. So I'll leave him in the SS, assuming you guys are all goats. Thanatos is in the S or SS. I think he's in the SS in terms of carrying yourself out of ranked games. Like he obviously his passive, Bloodforge, early pace, insane ult, in and out of fights, he can do it all, and he's definitely one of the GOAT pentakillers. So no doubt he's in the SS. Way more risky though early than Set, Loki, Thor, Kali, for example. Tsukuyomi has fell off a cliff. He doesn't do nearly enough damage. Thank you, W. Appreciate the 2 years, man. We've been training. Yeah, Suki fell off a cliff. His damage is too low for an all-in character. He doesn't really supply anything else outside. I think I'll leave him at A. His damage is okay. Like, his damage is bad. First 2 items, 3 items. 4th item, it's okay. He has all-in potential. But if they aegis your ult, like, you're literally not a character. So, like, it's just not consistent enough to be in the S tier, in my opinion. He's just an A. And only a couple of good spikes, really, on that character. I wanted to play some Surtur jungle one of these days. Maybe today I'll practice it, let you guys know. I'll upload a video to confirm, but I think Surtur jungle is okay. I think it's mid. Tier jungle died as soon as they nerfed his ult CD. And am I missing any other characters that have come out that have been junglers? I don't think so, right? Lancelot is the only one that I'm missing. Lancelot, I'll put probably A tier to S. I think he's S. I think Lance is S. His damage is not as good as it was, but he could definitely kill. He can definitely kill like 3 people. He does have a very good kit to kill multiple people. Anubis, nah. I don't think Anubis is good enough jungle. I think you'd just be throwing in the lower ranks, but understandable. I mean, if you have a good Anubis, you can do kind of weird things. Charon, obviously, he just doesn't have enough damage to be a jungler. Nike, I could add it. I mean, she's just average. She's just a flop and a slow. And if you build her damage, she does okay things, but she's not going to carry you in ranks. And this is my jungler tier list to carry yourself out of whatever rank you are and get to masters. These are the best hyper carries in Smite right now. And if you want to get to the top, this is the way you do so. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.